I honestly have no idea if this is gonna impact anyone that it's actually directed towards, but we'll see. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Rejected Product Gamers. I am your RPGer Michael, and today we are going to talk about 5 reasons why to wear a damn mask. And you better believe we're doing this entire video with this mask on, just to prove the point. This video is going to take care of a bunch of those myths, a bunch of those tweets and replies that you see on social media of people saying why they can't wear a mask, why it's impossible to wear a mask, why it hinges upon their ability to be a freaking American to wear a mask. And so let's just take those and just debunk the crap out of them. Reason number 1 to wear a mask: it's not an inconvenience. You saw how quickly I could put this on in this video. It took 2 seconds. And I'm able to talk clearly, you can understand me. You can still tell by my eyes and the rest of my face and my gestures how I feel about things. I'm not gonna lose all my expressiveness or my creativity by having having the bottom half of my face covered up. Wearing this in no way impacts any of your daily life. And apart from eating and drinking, which everyone agrees you can lower it while you're doing that, there's nothing that this gets in the way from. You need to go out for a jog, you can do that with this on. Sure, you might smell your breath a little bit more, you might smell the CO2 in your breath a little bit more. Doesn't mean that you're breathing in only CO2. It doesn't mean that you're losing all oxygen. In fact, as nurses and studies have shown, wearing these doesn't reduce oxygen intake, or it doesn't reduce the purity of the oxygen that you can breathe in. It's still the same, so it's not an inconvenience. Reason number 2, it's not about being submissive. This goes out to all those conspiracy theorists. These are the people that are saying, oh, if you wear a mask, you're telling them that the government can do whatever they want to you, or if you wear a mask, you're giving up your rights as an American. No, okay? Look around the world. Much larger than the United States is this pandemic, okay? The reason being is because people don't have an insufficient and incompetent leader telling them that it's a political issue and telling them that it's a reason and that this is preventing you from having your face tracked, or that this is so that you can become more like China or anything like that. It's not that. This is just a global health issue that we all need to take seriously. And doing this doesn't mean that you're submissive. In fact, it's showing that you are proactive, it shows that you are smart, it shows that you are responsible, and it shows that you're willing to care for others. A trait that is very lacking in the United States right now. Reason number 3. Wearing a mask will help people get their jobs back. Don't know if you understand the idea of correlation and causation, the people that I'm trying to explain this to. If you see a pool of muddy water, and you take a drink, and then 2 days later you start feeling sick, do you think that it was anything else you did within those 2 days, or do you think it might have had to do with drinking that muddy water? The same can be said about wearing a mask and the economy. People have been saying for months, ever since this really broke out in March, and honestly we should have been doing it before then, that by wearing masks, we can slow the curve, we can flatten the curve, we can make things more attainable in our society, and we can bring businesses back. We can bring back things that were non-essential. Take a look at your friend group, honestly. Chances are, there's not a single friend group out there that has not been impacted by this virus. And the only way that we're going to get back to normal is by battling it head on and taking the right measures we need to conquer it. And this is one of them. So, if you want to get your job back, if you want to start making money that isn't unemployment, if you say that people are mooching off the economy but you aren't wearing one of these, you're part of the problem. Reason number 4. It's called a preventative measure. One massively debunked post I've seen going around on Facebook is, if the masks work, why the 6 feet? If the 6 feet work, why the masks? If both work, why the pandemic? There's so much stupidity and lack of understanding of basic science in that post, it physically hurts me. But let's take it one by one. The reason for 6 feet is that it can reduce the exposure by close contact, right? Anytime you speak. In fact, if you're not wearing a mask right now, go ahead and breathe out into your hand, like so. You might feel that your hand not only gets warm, but it also gets a little damp. The reason for that being is that you have particulates in your breath, and those particulates can reach out to your hand from here. Now, chances are, if you tried to breathe out to your hand out here, you won't feel it as much, but rest assured, it's still getting there. So the 6 feet is what scientists and health officials are saying is the safest minimum distance. Now, of course, if you have the ability to project and the ability to raise your voice. You can talk with friends 10 feet away, 20 feet away, and you can make it work. They want people to do the bare minimum, and people aren't doing that. So that's the 6 feet. Now the masks. This isn't a cure. This isn't a remedy. This isn't a vaccine. And anyone that assumes that we're doing this as such is an idiot. We're doing this until we get the vaccine, until we get the cure, until we can do whatever it takes to help our healthcare system just maintain and try to help treat people that get seriously infected by this. We will do whatever it takes. And for anyone that isn't convinced by science, which unfortunately is a lot of people nowadays, here's another very common everyday example that was happening before the pandemic even began. Say you're driving a car. You need to get over from one lane to the next. How do you do it? What you should do, and what you were probably taught but just chose to forget, is that you have a turn signal you can use. You can use that turn signal, and you can look over. That's the same thing as wearing a mask. You take a measure so that everyone around you knows that you are safe to be around, they know what you are going to do, and that way we can react accordingly. The same goes for a mask. Wear a mask. And finally, reason number 5 to wear a mask. It can save lives. If you've ever wanted to feel more like a hero, more like you made a difference in someone's life than ever before, now's the time. By wearing a mask, you are potentially preventing secondhand and third-hand exposure of the virus to somebody else who might then go visit somebody that is in their family that's immunocompromised, that's at a high risk, that is elderly, that is any one of these categories that's more likely to have a serious infection with this disease. And by wearing a mask, you are doing your part to save someone else's life. And sure, you might not ever meet that person. You might not ever know that person's existence. But that shouldn't matter in making a difference. You should want to make a difference because it's the right thing to do, not because you're going to get credit or that you are going to get some recognition and some thanks for it. You should be doing the right thing because it's the right thing and no other reason or incentive. And if none of these reasons have been able to convince you otherwise to wear a mask, then I've got some bad news for you. You have contracted something else in this society that is far deadlier, far more problematic, and far more contagious than this pandemic. It's called ignorance and stupidity. So that's the 5 reasons why for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you can share this with somebody who will not put on a mask yet, and you can show them, and this can hopefully get rid of any of their arguments. If you hear any other arguments about why people aren't wearing masks, please comment below, and I will respond to any of them possibly with the reasons, the facts, and hopefully a way to argue back to them of just why their arguments about not wearing a mask are so silly and idiotic. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, Internet.